Good morning, children. So in previous classes we discussed about the light property refraction. Now we discuss about the reflection of light. Here one important thing will be there. Here state syllabus students will also be looking these videos. So what I am saying, this reflection of light is not for state syllabus. Remember that only it is for CBSE. In previously state syllabus will be there, but now it will be deleted. But it is important for further higher classes also. That's why you can also listen carefully. Understand? But it is not our public examination part for state syllabus. Remember, for CBSE syllabus only it is continuation part of actually reflection will be given first, then after refraction will be there. But according to the coincidence of both the state and the CBSE, I have to start that refraction. Now I come back to say for CBSE this reflection of light. Now it is also one of the important property of light. Reflection of light. So reflection of light to be same means where it will be happen means I already told you once again I remember you. According to the propagation of the light, all the substances are classified into three types, that are transparent, translucent and opaque. So transparent easily passes the light through it. Such a medium we call as transparent. In a special way light will be propagated is translucent, and light do not be propagated through the medium is said to be the opaque. Now, by saying this reflection property, we need the opaque bodies. Opaque one is wall, this blackboard, book, etc. They are all. So, where the light do not be propagated through it, all such matter we consider as the opaque bodies. Okay. So, suppose I have to pass the light ray through the wall, it is possible. It passes through it and falls on the other side of the wall. It is not possible. Yes. So, that's why this property will be taken. Then what happens when light falls such a bodies? What happens means there this phenomenon will be happen. That's called as reflection of light. It is said to be the reflection. By considering this reflection at one side, we have to make the opaque nature. Another will be reflecting surface. Remember that reflecting surface. So here this wall light will be falls on it. Suppose to consider this the wall, light will be falls on this side. This side is not possible means to make it like this. So this opaque nature, remember that for this either plane or spherical surfaces, compulsory at one side to make like this. Otherwise it becomes lens. Remember that. So compulsory to make at one side opaque nature. This is opaque. That's why light do not propagate through it. Okay. Now here, what happens by saying this property, one normal line also to be needed. This is a normal line we call. So ON is said to be the normal line. When light produced from the source, so from the source light will be produced means that ray is called incident ray. What is this ray called? Incident ray. This ray is said to be the incident ray. It is produced from the source. AO to remember, it is an incident ray. If this opaque nature will be not there, what happens? Actually light travels in straight line, no? So it will propagate like this. Straightly it will be propagated. Dotted line indicates that imaginary. Remember that in case of this light, we can indicate these dotted lines. That is an imaginary. Non-imaginary, you have to imagine that's an imaginary line. That's not a real. So here opaque nature will be there. When touch this, it come back. From there, from O point it will be come back. This ray we called as reflected ray. What is this ray called as? Reflected ray. We called OB. AO incident ray, OB reflected ray. O is the point of incident. Remember that O is the point of incident. ON is the normal. And here this M dash is considered as plane surface or plane mirrors. Whatever you say, M dash is considered as plane surface. So remember what is M dash? Plane surface or plane mirror. That also have to consider plane mirror. From there, AO is said to be the incident ray, and OB is said to be the reflected ray. reflected ray means bounce back. When it touches this incident ray to this plane surface, it will bounce back and comes back again. Such a ray we call as a reflected. Is a very important property of the light. And O is point of incident. Point of incident or incident point. ON is said to be normal line. ON is said to be the normal line. So remember these things for the reflection. Okay. So these points are very important here. And to observe here, incident ray makes with the normal. This is a normal line. This normal is compulsory here. It makes at an angle with this normal. It is called as incident angle of incident. So here this angle I is called as angle of incidence, or angle of incidence, or incident angle, whatever you see. After the refraction, what happens? Again here certain angle will be formed. That is called as angle of, that is reflected angle, or angle of reflection. Angle of reflection. So what is it called as angle of reflection. This is said to be the angle of reflection. This points to remember. So very important one. What happens here? When the light travels from the source, we call incident ray. Incident ray generally travels in straight line. That is the property of the light ray. But when opaque tube body on their way, when it touches, it does not propagate through it. It comes back just like ball. So to observe, I had to play with ball. So I had to strike the ball to the wall. What happens when the ball touches the wall? It does not go through it. Again it comes back. Like that, this light ray also, when it touches these opaque surfaces, it will become back. Such a property is called as reflection of light. Okay. So from there, after touching this incident point or point of incident, the ray will becomes black. Such a ray we call as reflected ray. So both reflected and incident ray can be made with an angles with the normal. With the normal line, it makes an angles. This ON is said to be the normal line. Here the angles are made. Okay. Here angle I is the incident angle. Angle R is the reflected angle. Okay. So this about the some important points about this reflection. Now here important laws will be there. It is called as laws of reflection. Laws of reflection. Two important laws will be there. There is no names here. Just we called first law of reflection and second law of reflection. Just we called as first law and second law. What is the first law of reflection state? Means first law of reflection, to see incident ray, normal line, point of incident, reflected ray. You see all of them. Incident ray, point of incident, normal line, reflected ray. All will be lies on the same plane. They are all lies at one plane. One plane, all will be present. Remember that. That is the first law. So first law of reflection states that incident ray, point of incident, what is that? Normal line and reflected ray. All will be lies on the same plane. What are they? Incident ray, point of incident, normal line and reflected ray, all lies on same plane. Lies on same plane. This is called as a first law of reflection. So they are all, remember that there is not from incident point falls at one point and reflection takes another point. It does not be going on. Compulsory. They are all will be one plane. All this will be happened. So that is the first law. So incident ray, point of incident, normal line, reflected ray, all will be lies on the same plane. And second law is very simple. This angle of incident is equal to the angle of reflection in case of plane surfaces. Remember that in case of these plane surfaces, angle of incident is equal to the angle of reflection. Angle I is equal to angle of. In case of plane surfaces, so remember that. In case of plane surfaces, Anguli equal to angular. These two are called as laws of reflection. So these laws of reflection you have to simply verify. Okay, you can verify these two laws also. That is, what is first law? Incident ray, incident point, normal line, reflected ray, all lies on the same plane. Second law, the angle of incident is equal to the angle of reflection. Now, experimentally you have to prove that these laws of reflection you have to verify. So for verifying this is one of the important activity. If it is possible, in house you also do this experiment by changing the different angle of incident values. Now I will explain. According to that, you can make different angles and conduct an experiment for taking different values. Keep an activity in your mind. So this is an important activity. So one of the important lab activity. So lab activity is a very important one. So this practically you have to do in house. So very simple operators we need for verifying this. That's why compulsory you have to do this experiment in your houses. Okay. So by making different angles, by changing that. So now I will explain. According to that you have to make. So what is the aim of the experiment? So the aim of the experiment is to prove that laws of reflection. To prove that the laws of reflection. So laws of reflections are verified in this activity or in this experiment. For verifying that, required operators. The operators needed for verifying this experiment is, so one drawing board, drawing paper, or otherwise to take white paper, pencil, mirror, plain mirror, protractor. We need these operators. By considering these operators, we have to experimentally prove this activity. So practically you have to verify this one by using these operators. Okay. So plain mirror, drawing board, white paper, pins also I need. Pins, protractor, pencil, protractor. So what is that? Paper clip. So pins will be taken. So you can take paper clip also. Clips also to be taken. So these are the required operators. Now, arrangement of operators. First of all, to fix the white paper to the drawing board. So on drawing board or otherwise some pad to be taken on that, I had to fix the white paper. So white paper to fix on it. And by using these clips to be there, or otherwise by folding with pins also to be fixed one white paper to the drawing. Okay. The next to draw one line to be drawn. A line to be drawn here. And for this, center to plot one more line. So to plot like this, understand? Plot like this at the center. Now at the center, you have to place the mirror. So here to place the mirror on the surface, I have to place the mirror. On this horizontal plane, to place the mirror. Remember that, to place the mirror. So here opaque nature, here reflecting nature will be there. That means to keep mirror like this. So the ray strikes to the mirror with an angle. So say 30 degrees angle to take 30. So minimum to consider with 30. Experiment to conduct with 30 degrees. Okay. So here first we make an angle 30 degrees. By using the protractor, we can make angle of 30 degrees. Here incident angle. What is this called as incident angle? This incident angle to be taken 30 degrees. Okay. Then here to place two pins, to stick up the two pins here like this, to place two pins on this paper. Understand? To fix two pins, and their reflection you had observed in the mirror. Understand? Their reflection you had seen in the mirror. By seeing that, another side you have to plot two more pins at that reflection place. So again to plot. So here I will draw the line, but actually in experiment to keep the line, to keep the pins here. So which appeared on the mirror, to be draw the points first. Then after to remove that pins and draw the line. This is the reflected ray. Now to measure this angle is equal to the incident angle. So here I have to keep this angle I is 30 degrees means 30 degrees angle I have to keep means angle R is also 30 degrees. So incident angle is equal to the reflected angle. By changing these angles, by changing this 30, 35, 40, 45, 50, 55 like that. So what to do? In the mirror you have to do these images. These images appeared in the mirror. By looking that mirror, you have to keep the points. Remember, understand? So by seeing the mirror, you have to keep the mirror. So these images will appear in the mirror. By looking at mirrors, to keep 2 points on the other side of the paper. Okay, where all will be. So here to remember that all these pins which appear in the mirror and all this one, all will be lies on the same plane. Remember that. So up to that we can adjust it and hold it on the paper. Then finally, when all will be in straight line, all these 4 pins, that is images 2 pins and these 2 pins which you have to keep here, all will be in the same plane or all will be in straight. Then remove that and draw the line and measure that angle. That angle I is equal to angular or had to get it. By changing these different values, that is 30, so I will draw next 35, 40, 45, 50 like that, or 30, 40, 50, whatever the, so simultaneous values to be taken. Understand? 30, 40, 50, 60, 70 like that also, or otherwise 30, 35, 40, 45, 50. So take 5 or 6 readings and you have to conduct this experiment. And every time you get it, angle I is equal to the angle R. Okay, this is about this experiment. So next class we will continue.